everybody.
Going on, y'all?
Welcome to Cullen's Corner Hot Topics. We are in the building, y'all. We got the air personalities deep up in here tonight. Welcome to the Brownstone. It's your girl, Paulette. I'm a part of Brownstone Worldwide. We got everybody else. We're going to go around the room. We're going to introduce ourselves. And we're going to start over here.
Hey, everybody, it's Cullen, part of Brownstone Worldwide. Good to see everybody here.
Hello, everybody. I'm Marshawn Olanio, a shift relationship strategist. Thank you so much for having me this evening.
Of course. Welcome. We're going to go down to the basement. We're going to the basement.
I apologize. I was looking for the mic. My name is Barbara Andrews. I am their licensed marriage and family therapist at Holy Mind and Body Experiential. Thank you for allowing me to join you.
Yes.
Of course. Go ahead.
Hey guys, I'm Dr. Michelle. I'm Chief Data Scientist of Mogul Beginnings Data Consulting, and I'm also a personality here at the Brownstone for my podcast, Numbers Don't Lie.
Awesome. Who's that sister there in the corner? You.
Hello. Knock. Is this thing on? How are you? Good evening. I am the Nicole Johnson, founder and CEO of Girl Your Money Matters, air personality here on KCCR Radio and the Brownstone Worldwide. We are affectionately known as the gym, where we have all sorts of exercises to help you get financially fit. And I am here for all the kicks and giggles for tonight's topic.
Lord have mercy. And hello, DeCarlo. Come on in.
Hey, everybody. This is your boy, DeCarlo Collins. I am one of the creators with Brownstone Worldwide and also the host of Ear Hustling Radio and also the B-Side Independent Music Show. So happy to be on the show with the crew. I'm scared, but we finna get it popping.
Oh, wait, you scared for? Hold on.
Hey, it's some beautiful women in here, and I have to be spiritually prepared for this.
Don't come up in because your friend up above you in the upstairs on the upper room in the upper room. He brought you into this madness. But I'm gonna ask DJ Tony to see, can you help these brothers out?
Yes, come on, DJ Tony.
First and foremost, good evening, my queens, and happy Women's Month. I love each and every one of y'all. My brothers, man, I'm here for more support. Please, let's please stay in the pocket. Okay.
Yes, don't go out the pocket.
Don't go out the pocket. I ain't got no bond money, man. Come on now.
Yeah.
Okay,
all right, y'all. Who's next?
Come on with your platform, sir.
Yeah, I think that's all. It's everybody. So everybody, thanks for coming. We're gonna jump right into the topic. Why y'all black single or women single? And why y'all staying single? This is put it out. I love Dr. Michelle. So Dr. Michelle, now since you got that look on your face, in your experience, why do you think so many black women are single in today's world?
I honestly believe, it's multiple things, and I'm gonna keep it simple. Mm-hmm. We have options now. You think about our grandparents. I'll think about my grandma. I talked about her on my show this past week, but she got married very young, and she really, she had an elementary education, and so she just wanted to be a mom. You know what I mean? Like that was kind of her aspiration, was to be a mom. There's nothing wrong with that. But so when my grandfather met, like he was just a regular working collar guy, and that was enough. Mm-hmm. Me, myself, and I need you to have more than a few coins, okay? Because I like to travel, I like to do things. I have options. I have a degree, and I need you not to be intimidated. I have multiple degrees. I'm gonna need you not to be intimidated by me, because I'm just not about to have a conversation with you. So we have more options now as far as where we can go, the things that we do, our education, the career path that we choose. And because our options have opened up, the different options for men have also opened up, and we not just going to take any old thing.
Not gonna take any other thing. What you think, Marshawn? What you think?
I concur with Dr. Michelle, but I'm gonna add to this. Okay. Outside of the degrees, definitely the options. Um, let's go with the degrees. Black women are outpacing and beating everybody in the degree department, including our brothers, right? Including our brothers. So with that goes into us being more of the breadwinner. And from my experience and me coaching the women that I'm coaching that are these Black professional women, the conversation is still how the brothers, specifically Black men, are being intimidated by the fact that they are the breadwinner. They can't handle that she is the breadwinner. And so they are pretty much running away or running amok in the relationship. So not realizing that, and because I'm gonna take it to the I'm gonna take it all the way to the fact that they're saying the whole what is it, being submissive, right? We can be submissive, but you got to be bringing more to the table. And you don't realize that being the head of the household doesn't necessarily mean just finances. But a lot of our brothers are caught up on the financial aspect of being the head of the household, and being the breadwinner. At this point, we're going to have to get over that, because there are so many other things that are in the way of the Black family being together. And so it's just, we are sick and tired of being sick and tired. Then let's go into mental health, right? Mental health, women are beating Black men on getting their head together, right? And so we're pleading, hey, let's go to therapy. I'm like talking to these people. Let's go to therapy. Let's go to therapy. Now I don't want to do that. Now I don't want to do that. There's still this stigmatism, specifically with our brothers. If I can get myself together, well, if you could get yourself together, then you would have gotten yourself together. But we're still here in this situation, and you don't want to take responsibility for how you're showing up and how this is caving. So I'm tired of begging you. I'm tired of pleading with you.
Let me just jump in. Okay. Because you was preaching there for a second.
Man, she just took it to the right. She
started like seeing flashes or something. So and I'm gonna ask Dr. DJ Tony Sanchez to comment in a second, but I think a lot of times when people say men are intimidated, you got options, I think those are like things that people always say, and I don't think it's always the truth. Because I don't think a lot of men are nowadays they don't feel like they can stand up to other women, like they can match up. So a lot of times they'll have their women that they can kind of keep in their pocket, and then the other women that like the doctors on here and the Nicole Johnsons, they can't handle them. They can't do what they need to do. But DJ Tony,
yes sir.
Tell me your thoughts, man.
Okay, for me personally, both my queens got valid points. I give y'all that. Y'all have valid points, and that's coming from the female's perspective, But yeah. I can't never tell you nothing about being no female, but I can tell you about being a man. A man is gonna do. I'm talking about a true man is gonna do first and foremost what honors God and himself first. If my queen is right there, I'm finna honor her. I don't care if she got 7 degrees, if she ain't got nan degree. I don't care if she been in a struggle or she been on top of the world. You dig what I'm saying? We gonna get all of this set from the beginning. See, that's where a lot of us mess up at. We go into relationships assuming that everything is finna be peachy creams and this and that, and a lot of us don't want to have them conversations sitting down saying, well, look, I kind of get upset, or my pride is kind of hurt because I don't know how to handle, and I'm talking to my queen, I don't know how to handle you making more money than me because I ain't never been in this situation before. So I love you enough to come to you as a man in this moment to get your opinion to help me better understand this here so we can work through this together so I won't be having this over my head later on down the road. See, that's an open communication on both parts. We have to set down them foundational boundaries at the beginning and then be willing to work toward that, because if I love you, I'm gonna love all of you, your good, your bad, or whatever, but I'm willing to help you better yourself along the way as you help me.
Totally understand, Barbara. I know you got a lot to say on this topic, but I want to agree with Tony. I mean, sometimes, if you're a partnership and you guys are growing together, you may make more money than your man. Sometimes that's just how it is. Sometimes y'all going back and forth. Maybe you're making up here because you're ahead in your in where you are in your work life. So sometimes it's just like that, but you just don't want to belittle the guy either. So I know a lot of women kind of put the man down, and men can't handle that. So at least work with your partner. Now I can see if I'm gonna get to you. I can see if I can see if you're in a relationship and the guy is kind of intimidating. He's like, well, that should make him work harder to get to where he needs to be, because again, it's a partnership. But if you already had the mindset, you ain't making enough money, you ain't good for me, that may not be a good thing. What you think, Barbara?
I understand all of you. I can't say I agree with everything, but for me, and I'm going to just speak from a personal standpoint here. I've been married twice. So in understanding why I was married twice, and my mindset and where I was at the time that I did get married, I do understand that sometimes we as Black women are not married to the right one because we're impulsive. Sometimes we're overly impulsive, and other times it could be because of our trauma background, how we choose. So one of the things that I've stumbled upon is stop finding and be found. The word of God said, he that finds a wife finds a good thing. And that's one of those things that I always ponder with, like, he ain't finding me, So I was always like going to get, I'm gonna get what I want. I was always one of those women, I'm gonna get what I want when I want it, right? So obviously I just didn't have the right mental perspective in order to go out and reach who I needed, because I wasn't prepared. I didn't allow God, it's like I did not allow God to prepare me for what was supposed to be with me. The second thing is trust the Lord and not lust. So those are the two things that sticks with me right now, is because I don't care what my body says. It doesn't mean that that man, because he's fine and he looks good and he dresses well and he speaks so eloquently, that he's mine. Right. So we have to be careful about what we're feeling inside when we see this luscious looking man, because there's a bunch of nice looking men on here today, but it's just not like, Cullen, you my brother, but so it's like, what are you feeling inside when you're thinking about a man? What do you our expectations are sometimes overrated. What we think, how we think, it's are we thinking from a perspective of how daddy raised us, or are we thinking from a perspective of how the world stated that we should meet? For me, it's like a foundation has to be laid between me and that particular partner that finds me, he does need to have himself together, right? So that means I, as a woman, have to have myself together, right? We both have to be able to compromise. See, the world tells us that we need to, you be submissive, and then you be this and you be that and all this stuff. Basically, a relationship starts, you create your own foundation, you and that person, because in the and the men smell good. And we're definitely supposed to be building our own foundation together, not what mommy and daddy showed us, and not what grandma and grandpa showed us. You know, that's good. But when you get together, you're getting together and you're building a foundation that is made from you and that person that you chose to be your partner, right? And the problem is that we let too many people come in. So for me, I'm single because I choose to be single right now. When he comes, I'll know it, right? I would know it. I used to think I'm not going to know when he comes, you know, but when he comes, I'll know it, because he's going to know how to speak to me. He's going to know how to wine and dine me. He gonna know how to do the gentleman thing, and I'm gonna know how to shut down and be poised enough to let him know that, hey, baby, leave me.
Come on, girl. See, now that's what I'm talking about. That's my woman right there. That's my right there.
What do you think, Paulette? You want to be led, or you want to leave?
Don't ask me nothing, Nicole. I see your face. Cullen has known me a long time. Nicole, I'm looking at Nicole's face and I'm looking at Leanne's face. Nicole, please, because I've been looking at your face for the past 5 minutes. Please expand. Why are professional women, Black women, women of color, more apt to be single as opposed to our clear counterparts?
Uh-oh, she didn't hit the fan.
So I wanted to be careful how I entered this conversation, and I thank Barbara for opening the gateway, because I've been married before, and then I was delivered from that fiasco because I wasn't picked. Okay, I did not let him. He didn't find me. I picked, and in my picking and all my knowingness at that time, okay, he was at that position, Cullen, where I was making more money, but I was of the mindset that it didn't matter how much you made, it would matter with what you did with it. And it didn't matter, it all hit in one account. We were going to build together. But his ego wouldn't allow him to be, well, I'm going to control the money. Sir, what you ain't going to do. Okay, let's get down there. But when we come forward to today and who I am with the degrees and the income and the business and all the things, okay, all of those things, I don't want a man. I want the right man. Ergo, this professional Black woman is single because the right man who has all the points on my list ain't came along yet. I got a list. And see, my Father in heaven loves me so much and that I can speak with specificity to the things that I want in my life. So it's a choice, and I dare not settle for what comes my way, because I did that once before and it did not work. So if I'm going to submit to someone, he has to earn the position of being able to lead me. Because see, the Bible says women submit to your husbands. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. Don't give me half the scripture.
Come on now.
The scripture. Okay?
Come on now.
So we are single because we no longer have to settle for what's coming our way. Yes, they have options, because you got some women out there, some ladies who are just simply of the female persuasion that's giving away like popsicle sticks at the candy store. Okay. I choose not to be that type. Okay. And if I ain't pointing no finger at nobody, but if the shoe fit, put on some cute stockings and a whole outfit on top of it and do what you do. Okay. But I will not settle for what comes my way, because just like he has a choice, so do I. And that's why you have a lot of Black professional women who are single, because they want what they want. And just like men can pick who they want and what they want, baby, I can too. I'm at Burger King and I'll have it my way.
Come on now. Come on now. Come on now.
All right, we got Leanne Dose in the building and Tracy Mills Skaggs. Leanne Dose, what you got to say about this topic, man?
That's my little sister. Come on, little sister.
You see, I didn't have to look. I didn't have to pull the car over if y'all had this conversation, because y'all wasn't about to leave me about this conversation. So, you know what? I come from a little bit different perspective. Okay, coming from the standpoint of somebody who's been married, but who doesn't believe in monogamy. Don't judge me, judge your mammy. Some of us are single because the view of relationships and what relationships are today is not something that we just want to deal with, maybe, right? And I can only speak for me, right? I realized that monogamy was not for me when I was married. I was more the problem than he was. It was cultural differences and beliefs of what a woman is supposed to be. Don't pigeonhole me into a box when I make all the money here.
Oops.
And I'm trying to let you lead, but you are not leading in the direction that is taking us where we need to go. Right? But realizing that also I wasn't fulfilled in a relationship. A lot of times I hear that we're supposed to be happy that a man wants us.
Okay.
Right. And because of that, we're supposed to, the woman is supposed to be the backbone, and she's supposed to build that man up who ain't doing anything. Because I've honestly, in my life, I've never dated a man who made more money than me. Ever. I'm 51. Right? Because I don't know, I won't say intimidated. I won't even say that. But I've had men tell me that I was intimidating. I don't know why, because I'm like sweet as pie. Like, you know. But Michelle, put your head back. Put your head back. Lean back, Michelle, because I am. I said I'm sweet. I'm sweet.
You sweet. A little sassy in there too.
I'm always gonna be sassy. But I want women to, and relationships aren't always the end all be all, right?
Yeah.
Some of us are happy being single and living our lives, and love comes and goes, right?
Yeah.
I've had relationships, but I don't know that I will never be married again. I don't want to be. He gonna have to be some kind of something to make me want to be married to somebody else. I like having my space. I like not having to be accountable to someone else, because regardless of, oh, I'm grown, I can do what I want. When you have a husband, you have a mate, you now are accountable to that person, regardless of what you want. You have someone else who you have to make a integral part of every decision you now make for the rest of your life, good or bad. Sometimes I don't want that pressure. I got enough to deal with my expensive ass. Let alone trying to figure out how to mesh somebody else into that. So yes, some may see it as me being selfish.
Yeah.
But this is a me era. And I gave my life in doing a lot for others and trying to help everybody else out. And so now I'm single, honestly, 100% because I want to be. And because it is what right now in my life is what brings me the greatest joy and the most peace at the same damn time.
All right.
See, I was told just today the reason women are single is because, you know, men got too many choices. Men got too many choices.
No.
Listen, I'm telling you what I was told. Women, they said men got too many choices from all these women who don't care, and as opposed to women like you guys who are like perfect catches, and a guy can't handle that because he like got these 3 women over here that he don't have to do much work to do, you know. But I always said one thing, and I'm gonna get to one thing I always said. And Carl, I want you to say something, man, because a lot of times the person I was talking to today, they said, man, you know, people don't date anymore. You know, people don't court anymore. You know, and then when the people do try to open the door for someone, I can open my own door. I can do this. So there's always that push and that give and take. So I just think that, you know, we need to come back and look. It's okay to be single. Yeah. I mean, you know, everybody know that, but it's okay to grow with your person too. What you got to say, Tracy?
Hi, good evening, everybody. Thanks for allowing me to be part of this platform. Okay, so first of all, I was single for 8 years before I met my husband. So I got married later on in life, still married happily. However, when I saw this topic on Facebook, it was really intriguing to me because a lot of times when, you know, we think about Black women specifically, you know, being single or whatever, sometimes we don't think about like the emotional trauma behind that. Maybe there's like a deeper reason other than not being able to find someone. So for myself specifically, my parents were divorced. I was 8, my brother was 4. And the reason why I was single for so long before I met my husband was because I my father wasn't there for me. And that's why I talk about, like, with my son and with the rest of my family and friends, it's just really important not to underestimate the relationship between a father and a daughter. So when my parents got divorced and my father wasn't showing up for me, I was like, okay, so if I can't trust that my father's not going to show up for me, then how can I trust that any other man would? So then after a couple years of therapy and, you know, being in this state of like not trusting anybody because of the lack thereof relationship with my father, I learned that just because my father is who he is does not mean that there is not a man that is worthy of my trust out there. And for me, like I said, it happened later on in life, but it was a process. I was just like, I didn't trust men. I was like, I'm going to be single because if the man that I love more than anything is not there for me, then how could I trust that any other man would be? So it was a long journey, but I did learn that, you know, sometimes we are our own barrier, our own worst enemy. And there's like a lot of emotional things that we have to work through too, to be in a better place and understand that maybe what you think really isn't true.
Okay, y'all ready for me now? Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
Go on, speak up, Paulette. Go on, let them know.
All right. Well, Coco, after this, Coco, I'm going to drop down and let Coco come up. We're at the max of 10. And I know Coco has some questions that she wants to, or rather she wants to ask the men, and I'm going to let her answer that. But before we do, let's look at some historical data first. But before we do that, let's do this, guys. We're at the top of the half. And what we need to do is a station ID. You are currently listening and watching KCCR Radio, the Brownstone. And you are also watching brownstoneworldwide.com/BWTV, where we are what? Changing the narrative on how we share our stories our way. If, as the Nicole Johnson of Girl Your Money Matters says, if we do not continue to change the narrative and take the charge of that in 50 years, if things are the same, it is our fault. Now, let's talk really quick about some things that are coming down the pipe. Guess what happened today, y'all? The magazine dropped. This is what you need to do if you want that magazine. Listen. We have been getting rave reviews about this magazine, so I definitely wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of it. What I am going to be doing is providing you, before we leave, with the link to go ahead and get your copy. Or you can head over to Facebook right now. Brownstone Worldwide is where you want to go, and you want to get that magazine. Here's something else that's coming up. Our very own, the Nicole Johnson, has the Power of Prosperity Legacy Summit that is coming up Thursday, April 13th through April 15th. Go ahead and get on that waiting list. How do you do that? You're going to go over to bit.ly/Legacy Summit GYMM, and you're going to get on that waiting list. So as we get closer to that date, she's already got speakers lined up, y'all, and all of the things. And then lastly, a new season is coming to KCCR and Brownstone Worldwide. If you want to be a part of what we've got coming up, including Brownstone Podcast University, get on the waiting list. How do you do that? bit.ly/KCCR wait list. Get on the wait list now, because that is going to be happening here very, very shortly. Now, really quick, what I want to do is I want to talk about a couple of things. So first of all, big shout out to all of our air personalities that are on this call. We are so excited to see the Brownstone in the building.
I'm loving this group. Y'all, man, y'all are the bomb.
I just had a fan moment.
Loving the shows.
Loving what you all are doing. And we just want to say really quick, we appreciate you all as we continue to grow. And we're meeting with people that are joining us in season 2 of the Brownstone. So we're really excited about that. Listen, how am I going to put this? So let's talk about Big Mama now. Okay. Can I go here? Give me 2 minutes. Okay. Hold on. Cause it's got hot. I'm having a hot flash. Listen, I got to talk about it. Let's talk about Big Mama Nan real quick. Okay. Shall we? Cause here's something that we're not talking about. And one of the reasons why, I'm not going to name no names, but here are stories that I heard back in the day. Number one, these are facts. Let's talk about the civil rights movement. Let's talk about before the civil rights movement. Let's talk about Jim Crow. Let's talk about after slavery. Let's talk about during slavery and all of the crap that Black women see. I want to cuss, okay? But I know we got some folks on here that'll probably log off if I get started. So I ain't even going to do that. We're going to be real nice. So let's talk about the drama and the trauma that Black women have dealt with since their time of being brought to this country against their will. They were what? Bred. They were sold. Their children were ripped from their arms. They had to pretend to like the man that was raping them to protect that man. And then as we left the era of slavery in the terms that it was then, and then we started going into the Jim Crow era, guess what we dealt with? We were told that it was illegal for us to be stay-at-home mothers because we had to go and clean somebody else's house. See, y'all don't know about that. Some of y'all don't know about that. There was a law out there that said that Black women could not stay at home. Listen to me. And so what we've always done is what we've always done, because guess what? It's what we've always done since we've been in this country. Is we've always had to be the one that had the backbone, because if we did not, the man that we loved could lose his life. Let's talk about that for just a minute, okay? Now, let's move on into the fact that not only were we not looked at as second-class citizens or third-class citizens or even fourth-class citizens, even right now to this day, let's talk about the fact that the Black woman still is the most unprotected class of human in the United States of America. And so because of that, what we have had to do is to shore up our own loins and do what we needed to do to make sure that our babies ate. So now let's talk about DNA, shall we? Now, when we're talking about DNA and we're talking about all of the things that have come through us in terms of slavery that has been bred into us, we are still protecting our sons, our husbands, our uncles, our nephews, our men, our fathers, and our grandfathers. And we don't even know that we're continuing to do that. How do we do that? We stay in control. We stand in the way of massa and our husbands and our loved ones and our sons and our brothers and our uncles and our grandfathers and our papa, right? Okay, all right. So we got all of that, right? So let's also talk about the fact that in the middle of all of this, listen, Lindas, are we here? Listen, So in the middle of all of this, we are also talking about the fact that when white women couldn't have a bank account and it was illegal for us to even get a home and stay in it like our husbands wanted us to do back in the day, we had to go and clean her house. We couldn't have a bank account either. Let's talk about that, right? So we had to have somebody go with us because, see, I remember things like this. I recall my foster parents, literally, she would have her husband take her. She would have her husband take her to the bank so he could sign the documents for her. This was in the 70s, y'all, because the tradition was still there. Now, not only was he in control of her money, that meant he was in control of what was happening in the household. Now, I grew up in a household like that. I watched my grandmother. I watched my grandfather. I watched my daddy. My daddy's still like this to this day. Shout out to him. And he's a provider, but he gonna have that house run the way he wants. Loving man. But let's talk about the amount of pressure and stress that puts on a lot of women. So when we're talking about the fact that we can't have our own bank accounts, we're talking about the fact that we watched our mothers and our grandmothers live like that, right? So now we're talking about she done raised 11 babies. She done raised 15 children. Let's talk about that. Let's put it on the line now, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, here we are. I'm watching this as a 70s baby. You think I want that? Girl, I couldn't wait. Listen, I couldn't wait to get my own money. Hello? I couldn't wait because I saw what was going on over here. I saw the fact that there was control that was had. I saw what was going on. I am never going to say, right, Dr. Michelle said it best. Black women are reclaiming their identity outside of the control of others. And so when we go and see, here's something else Black women we good for. In addition to the fact that we are continuously protecting and we are growing and thriving in our communities, our brothers and our husbands and our sons and our nephews and our grandfathers and uncles and whomever, what we also have to remember is Black women have gotten so good at it sometimes in our DNA, we don't even know we're doing it. Honey, we get bored and be like, well, I guess I'll go get my 3rd doctorate. You know what I mean? So here's the thing. It's not that. So, okay, I'm only going to speak for me before I put the mic down. I have had my share, I'm about to cuss real hard, of bullshit. I wish the fuck I would continue to put up with bullshit when I make my own money, when I'm running my own household, the house that's got my name on the deed, baby, I signed them documents and I pulled up to this bad boy when I bought this house built from the ground up and I said, I wish the hell I would have a man come up in here and lay up in my bed and ain't did nothing and think he finna run something. The devil is a lie today on today. Let's talk about it. So
come on, my dear.
When we're talking about where we are as women, it is a choice because I want my peace first. I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night and find that you ain't on the side of the bed where you're supposed to be. And hell, I'm in my 50s and I'm looking for you and you down the street with the 20-year-old. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to find out that you got a family. Ask me how I know. I don't want to have to wake up one morning and find out that you got a family down the street, round the corner, and you raised in a whole other group of folk. I never want to go through that again. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to stay by myself because guess what I got? A choice. Okay.
All right. So
can I say something? Can I say one thing?
Come forward.
Yeah, go ahead.
Have the Urshas come forward to pick up the collection. Okay.
Can I say one thing? Let me hold up. Let me say one thing that is a central theme that I hope everybody is picking up on. Trauma.
Yeah.
Right? And
I picked it up. Yeah.
Is a very central theme that you keep hearing. I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want a man who's going to. Right? There is a healing that is needed. Because what I don't want people to get out of this show is that we man bashing and all the men are horrible and all that, because that is 100% not what we are saying. But there's enough of them out there that are making it hard for the great men that are out there. So I want everybody to know, when we say these things, it's not that we're trying to bash a man. We're not against relationships, unless you're Paulette, because she's not doing that ever again. She's already said that. But there is an air of trauma that we all, and as Black women, we must learn to heal in ourselves, because we're so used to, like Paulette said, healing others, fixing others, that we are still broken about certain pieces of that. And that is what's holding some of us back. Some of us, it's a choice to be single, but some of that choice is trauma induced. And it's not always trauma that we've been through, it's trauma that we've seen other people go through, that we express we will never have that. So sometimes that closes us off from finding somebody who may be great for us, may be able to help lead us, guide us, because, oh, submit what? I'm a grown ass woman. I ain't submit to and da 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 da. But on the other side of that, you cannot submit to somebody who is not worthy of submission. And that is what we are getting left with, is the men who are not worthy of submission, who still want and expect said submission, but you ain't doing the things that grandpa and great grandpa and great great grandpa was doing when he may have been out there with a whole nother family, but he kept this one held down too. So I want us to be real clear about all this trauma that we're hearing. Make sure you're hearing it with the right ears, and you're not just hearing, oh, they man bashing on that show, because that's 100% not what we doing. We love our Black men around here. We love them, we support them, and we stand behind them.
I don't take it as man bashing.
Because Cullen touched on it. Leanne we're all saying we have a choice in being single. But Cullen touched on men having too many choices. You may have too many options. You got one choice. You have one choice, because it's easy to get the little whoever is throwing it out there. You have a choice to accept it. And don't be mad because we won't settle and be dealing with the mess that comes behind. Because see, the one thing I can tell you, bullets and diseases don't discriminate. They will take us all out. So there's no need for me to be picking up your trash, her trash, and all the other folks' trash that then come together between the two of you, when I can do what's best for me and have standards for my life. So just like you have options, I have options. You have to make the right choice if you want to be in my space and hold the king status in my life. Being a king not only has rights and privileges, it has responsibilities. And if you want me to submit, you need to be in a place and a position for me to submit to, because I'm not submitting to foolishness. I'm not submitting to AIDS. I'm not submitting to your girlfriend jump off baby mama coming up behind me with a gun and killing me because she think your thing go around the world and home again. She can have all of that. So even though you have all these options throwing it at you, you better make the right choice, bro, because there's a whole lot that go along with this table. I'm not pulling up to the table. I am the table.
Right. Yeah. Okay, Coco. I know you've been waiting to
come on, Coco.
So let's hear from Coco. What you got to say, Coco?
So I have a couple of things I wanted to touch on, is what Miss Paulette and all the ladies have said. You know, one thing I think we missed on is that love. Well, Leanne touched on it, is about the abandonment. And Paulette started it, but she didn't go into it when we were talking about slaves, the slavery cycle and Jim Crow. Like, Black women are constantly being abandoned in certain respects. And it's not always by our fathers. Like, our fathers can be in our lives, but then when we get into these serious relationships, then the men that we start to love abandon us, or we start to feel abandoned. So I just wanted to throw that part out there. But my question that I had put in the chat to the men were, you know, with with the relationship piece. You know, if a woman is just as successful as you and she's into her community, she's raising, you know, her kids are grown, she's raising her kids. You know, a lot of us on this show in our age groups are now caregivers to our parents. You know, why is it that men want to spin this narrative to women that, oh, you're too busy? Is it that you're not busy enough, that you don't care enough to be in the community and help mentor somebody, or to want to see our Black children do better? Like, what is this narrative that I'm hearing it, the girlfriends of mine in our age group is like, oh, you're just too busy. Too busy for what? You haven't made a plan. You haven't come to me with anything for me to say that I'm not busy. Yes, I'm telling you my schedule because yes, I have a schedule and I need to maybe rearrange or fix my calendar because I have work meetings and I have other things, but that doesn't mean that I'm too busy to put you in place if you make a plan. So I just wanted to ask the men about this narrative of women being too busy. Where is that coming from?
Little boys. That's coming from. When you come to your woman and you saying you too busy, why don't you join her? You know, why don't you join her and help her whatever she's doing? You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, a lot of our beautiful Black women, y'all stay busy. Y'all got to. Y'all that's in y'all DNA. Once y'all finish something, y'all gonna do something else until you know y'all constantly trying to better yourselves. You know, and then us as men, we see that either we want to join you or we want to step back. The ones that step back, they don't want to work that hard because they want to be with someone that won't make them work. That's the thing. The problem is, and I'm gonna let DeCarlo go. The problem is, there's the stock of men nowadays. It's not the fact that there are no good men, because obviously there are good men on this call. It's the fact that either you're attracting the bad ones because you're attracting the bad ones, or you know you're dealing with those little boys. You're dealing with little boys, and you got to get you a real man, because a real man's gonna join you and help you along. Because I see what you're doing. I want to be like you. I want to be your partner. It's a partnership. Go ahead, DeCarlo.
You got to unmute, DeCarlo.
Oh, Jesus.
He's just talking and he muted. He just talking.
It's okay. It's okay. What you think? What you think?
Ain't one of y'all unmuted? Unmuted, brother. He have you sound. You all see him having technical difficulties.
He muted himself, so we can't unmute him.
I don't think.
Yeah.
There you go. We got you now, DeCarlo. Unmute yourself again, honey. Come on. We running out of time. Oh, there you go.
There you go.
We
I still can't hear you.
Why
you mute yourself?
It's okay.
Just press it one time. There we go. Stay there.
Him downstairs.
But you talking? We can't hear you, Steve.
We can't hear you.
Okay. We're gonna have some sign language on next time, so we can just we can voice your opinion that way.
At least the settings so the words come across the screen.
Right.
All right, here he come. He got you ready, bro?
Maybe. I guess he just here for the representation of the good men out there.
What you got to say about what Coco said, Paulette?
Well,
I thought she was. Okay.
To kind of shore up what Coco was talking about, I want to put this in perspective from a big mama's perspective, because it sound like, can I go here? It sound like y'all didn't believe the fat meat was greasy, okay? When Big Mama Nim be telling y'all about the things, and so I'm gonna tell you again, like I tell my daughters, okay? He done already told you he don't want you. Believe him. That's real easy. There is no more questioning. There is no more nothing to it. If he tell you he busy, you know what he told you? I don't want you. Carry on. And let me also tell you this. That also means no more communication. You ain't got to talk to him no more. Baby, that means delete him from your phone. Do you hear me when I say that? I'm going to say it like my daddy said. Do you hear me now? Okay? Do you hear me now? I need you to hear me when I say that. There is no too busy. Because I'm going to tell you like that song say, I'm not too busy for you. You're busy for who you want to be busy from.
That's right.
Look at my shot, right? It's just facts. You ain't got to ask him but one time. Matter of fact, if you got to ask him, that's one time too many. Do you hear me what I'm saying?
Yep.
I didn't get these gray hairs for nothing. I don't know. It's not that I don't know what I'm talking about. Been there, done that. I got a whole bunch of raggedy t-shirts. And listen, I always say this and I'm going to say it again. I got raggedy t-shirts and 4 beautiful children, and all of them got different daddies. It shouldn't have took that for me to find out. That's all I got.
Lord.
Well, is there any more to say? I mean, you done put it all out there.
But just from me, my point of view, to Coco, when she say, why do that narrative come up all the time about you must be too busy, you know? To me, that's just a cop-out, sell-out type of excuse of saying, hey, look, I wasn't really about you in the first place. Woo, 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 boop, wop the bam. You know, I'm outie. You know what I'm saying? See, I was raised in a house with all women, so I know all the ins and outs of a woman. You dig what I'm saying? I know. I watched my sisters, my mama, my grandmama, my aunties, them go through the struggles with men. And me not knowing who my father is, the example I had of how not to be a man was from the men I was seeing. You see what I'm saying? So you can't really transmit something that you don't have. You feel me? So until you get into that, you know, because with me, like I said earlier, if I'm in a relationship with my significant other, whatever she doing, we doing. I'm going to always make time for her. Because she the most important thing next to God than me. You feel what I'm saying? So it's about how much integrity is in that man to be in that woman's life, and is he willing to do what he need to do to show her that I'm going to be right here for you.
That's it.
And that's why we talking about being single, because we're not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like I recognize that. So I'm like, I'm good with all right, it's been real, deuces. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't need to do that. Either you in it, because this train gonna always move. And when it comes to my house, this is the house that Latanya and God built. So if you can't come in here and add to it, I ain't got time for that. If you're not adding any value to me emotionally, spiritually, financially, then we're not doing it, period. It's been real, though. Have fun.
I just want to say this. Perhaps, I'm channeling Paulette. Perhaps the constant question, because it seems like every month we hear, why Black women single? Instead of putting so much attention and focus on us and our choice, how about we put attention and focus on building men up to be compatible and worthy enough for
That's
us
what
to
I'm
be
talking
with?
about. Each one teach one.
That on the next hot topics, please. Thank you.
Wait
Each
a minute.
one teach
But
one.
can that be the men holding the men accountable?
That sounds like
Can this be the good men on here holding other men accountable?
Yep. That part, Coco.
Hey, we have to do it that way, Nicole. We have to. In order to change the narrative, we going to have to stand and be like that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
With no fear. Because look, we can't keep saying we all we got if we keep killing each other. If we keep on tearing each other down. If we keep on not supporting one another. Yeah. So when is we going to start confronting the men that we know that they ain't doing right, that we know ain't doing right, but we turning the blind eye to it? No, that's making me less of a man to watch that mess go on without saying something.
DeCarlo, what you got before the passion start? Because Tony that got started. You better jump in.
Yeah. First count here.
Yes.
Okay, we got you now.
Thank God.
I had a whole scripture a while ago that I was ready to go off on, but I'm gonna ask everybody this question. I want y'all to kind of pay attention to it. Are we communicating? That's the biggest thing that I would ask anybody. Are we truly communicating in these relationships and things like that? When you first meet someone, are you asking questions? That's a lot of times the biggest issue that I see in most relationships. Nobody completely communicating with each other. Like, for example, I hear everyone on here, the ladies, y'all are beautiful and amazing and everything. Y'all make your money, that's great. But here's the thing. Most men are not intimidated by you. The thing is, when you're hearing this all the time, you're getting it thrown in your face. A lot of men get tired of that. So they'll rather feel like they're going to go somewhere where they're needed, or they feel appreciated by someone who is actually, communicating, fully communicating. Usually what the biggest I hear a lot of time from some of the guys that's in my circle is they get tired of hearing throwing that type of stuff at them, what their degrees are, how much money they make, things like that. So I know everybody, I'm trying to make it clear because I don't know if everybody can hear me, but that's what I'm trying to say. Communication, are we talking?
Well, we hear you.
We hear you. We trying to
hear you. We trying to figure out what exactly do it mean though, because we sometimes see what so you're talking about in the dating stage, perhaps in the vetting stage. No, we're not throwing it in your face, but so many times we as women have to prove to who we're talking to what we got. And so many times it's like, don't tell him you got degrees. Oh, so I'm supposed to downplay all the hard work I have so his ego can feel good? That's not the kind of man I want.
No.
That's not what he's saying.
No.
Okay.
That's not what I'm talking about.
What he's saying.
No.
Right.
So I'm trying to go back to earlier. I think the one thing he was talking about, I heard somebody was talking about was feeling intimidated by women that are doing great. I don't think that's the issue. I think the biggest thing that comes a lot when it comes to that is, yes, in today's cycle, you're going to meet or marry women that are going to make more money than you. That is just the truth because the statistics show it. That's a given. Because yes, women are getting more degrees, they're getting more opportunities, they're in more CEO or higher position men are. But the thing that I think most men really get sick of is sometimes it gets thrown in their face when they're trying to achieve or trying to be a leader in the household, just like that. If we want to be leaders, we're going to be leaders. But if you're getting all the time stuff thrown in your face about what I'm doing or how I'm doing this or I'm doing that, that makes a man move. He wants to feel just as appreciated, even if you're making $1 million or $2.50. He still wants to be appreciated for the hard work, dedication, love, sacrifice, and everything that he's putting into you. I think that's the biggest thing. So my question to every person is, are we completely communicating, whether if we're dating, even in our relationships, or even when we're married? We still communicate on the level we were when we was asking those simple questions like, so, what's your favorite color? Oh, mine is blue, mine is white. We're not asking questions, or we're not completely being honest and communicating in our relationships. That's my question to any of y'all.
I think we more so talking at each other than to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know,
we do.
Yeah, because man, I have yet this year so far saw a solid relationship where the couple was actually having an intimate conversation about what they was doing. You know, it was always some roundabout type of stuff, you know, never touching on what they going through together. And that's a key point. In order to grow together, we got to struggle together, and then we got to get an understanding of who we are together. So we have to have constant communication on issues that a lot of us want to continue to push under the rug.
Where I'm weak, you should be strong.
Hold on, Carla.
Right,
We're running out of time here, but I want to let Marshawn, you go quickly, and then we're going to start to wrap this up. But just so y'all know, the next show is going to be a men's edition. That's been the plan. So everybody's going to be coming back, and we're going to do that show. So that's just pay attention to some of the topics that I'm going to be posting. Woo. So go ahead, Marshawn.
Okay, really quickly, I just want to address what DeCarla just mentioned, which is about the things being thrown in your face. Personal experience, I'm not throwing nothing in your face, but the intimidation about the money being made is still being brought up, not by me, by him. So what happens when I'm not even bringing the stuff up? I don't talk about my degrees, I don't talk about my money, but you do. That is your insecurity that you're bringing to us. And then you tell me you can't find your you don't really understand where your place is in this relationship, because the things that you are identifying yourself with are not there. I don't throw it in your face. And I know a plethora of Black women that don't do it, but because of your insecurities that you're bringing to the table, now we're having even more issues, whether I'm bringing it up or not.
All
so
right.
we can't win.
That's true.
I don't know about that.
I don't know, because
I know
can I
That is really a
Just
thing.
because y'all
Can I
don't
throw
do it,
one
don't
more
mean
thing
it's
in?
not real. Like, come on, man.
Can I respond before we go?
Where's
Please?
the love?
Because I had mic times all day. Let me respond one more time before we go. I understand what you're saying, Mashawn, but in most situations, and like I said, the conversations I have amongst men, some of my circle of guys, this is what they deal with. And they're not weak-minded men or anything like that. They're not throwing this in their face. It's just that these things do happen in a lot of sense, you know, and we're talking about it from a man's point of view. All I'm saying is, in a lot of times, men are not intimidated. They want to be the leaders in your lives. I think the thing is, it just deals with a lot of just saying, hey, this is who I am. This is where I'm weak. This is where I'm strong. Can I do more, you know, in this? So that's all I'm saying. I'm trying to read what everybody's saying. We can talk off air.
Come
Yeah,
on,
right.
Michelle.
Because that's I just
Hold on. Go ahead, Paulette.
So here's what I'm gonna say. Listen, y'all, it's done got hot up in here.
I'm
And
about
I
to
know
fight
that yes, we could continue to go on. And what we need to do is we
Sound
need to
like
have
we have an after
we need to
party.
have a brownstone after dark, and we need to dig deep. Okay, we need to bring out the brown liquor. We need to bring out all of the drinks and the cocktails.
That's what I'm talking about. That's
You
what I'm
know we
talking
used
about.
to do this back in the day,
Yep,
right?
back
We
in
used
the
to
day,
do
yep.
after dark, right?
Yep.
That's what
Little
we need
fish
to do
fry.
is have one of those. Get a little fish, get a little chicken wing.
Yeah, and we just brownstone after dark. Yep.
Get a little brownstone after dark, and we need to dig deep with this, because what we need to do ultimately, since we're talking about changing the narrative in our communities and telling our story our way, is to make sure that while we are telling our story our way, that we're also telling a different story, and making sure that we're making a difference in the way that our children see us and in how we see ourselves, right? Because the brokenness and the trauma and all of the things that Leanne talked about and Barbara talked about and Marshawn talked about, this is lack of trust. It's our culture. It's in our DNA. We need to, as a people, as the brownstone community, right? And we're growing, y'all. Y'all see that. What I want you all to understand is that it is truly our responsibility to take this bull by the horns and do something, because I heard a song a long time ago when I was a little girl that said there won't be peace on earth until man is at peace with woman. And that is not going to happen until we have these conversations over and over and over. So y'all, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to hand it back over to Cullen, but because I know we're going to do a deep dive after this. Do not leave the chat unless you just got to go, but I'm going to drop you down and we're going to roll those credits. Okay, Cullen, it's back to you.
Yeah. So again, we are going to do a Brownstone After Dark. I'm going to be posting a few of the topics, so you guys pay attention to that, and then we're going to send out another round of invites, and we want y'all to come back and talk. We're going to have a round of men, a few more men on the show as well, and we're going to come from the man's perspective, because I don't want people thinking. I want you to speak your mind and to speak your piece, because a lot of people got a lot of built up. You know what I'm saying? I don't take offense to what you're saying, because that's what you lived, and that's the thing that you have to deal with every day. I don't have to deal with that. So we're gonna definitely revisit this topic, and we're gonna talk about some of the men's on the men's perspective. But Paulette, you can go ahead and take us out, and I appreciate everyone. I'm sorry if we couldn't get everybody in. I have people hitting me up saying they want to get on the stream, but they weren't able to get on. But so next time we just have to get people on, and we just appreciate you guys coming on. You guys are great. Go ahead, Paulette.
All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to drop you down, and let's continue this conversation for a few minutes, but it is time for a Brownstone After Dark. We need to bring her back, because baby, this was hot, this was heavy. We need to dig into this a little bit deeper. This is what I want you guys to do. If you are not subscribed to the Brownstone Weekly Reader, we have a new one that's coming out tomorrow. Head over to brownstoneworldwide.com and sign up for the Weekly Reader. That's our newsletter that's going to give you information about all of these fabulous people that's on this call right now.
Yes, Lord. Yes,
our
Lord.
air personalities that are part of the Brownstone. Yes, starting off, we got Leanne Dulce that comes on Monday mornings at 10 a.m. Shout out to Leanne. Then, of course, we have the Hot Lunch Mix. Yes, she doesn't have anybody, but the Hot Lunch Mix. Then, of course, we have Nicole Johnson, the Nicole Johnson of Girl Your Money Matters at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then, of course, right after that is Marshawn Olanio with, of course, Love Restored. Then, of course, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have Numbers Don't Lie with Dr. Michelle Josie in the building. Yes. Then, of course, we have DeCarlo Collins. Where did DeCarlo go? Oh, Fridays with the B-side and Ear Hustling Radio. Saturdays and Sundays, we have the DJ Tony Sanchez in the building. He's doing his thing. Yes. Saturdays and Sundays from 7 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Then, of course, you got me over here, your girl Paulette, with the Sunday Brunch, where we're helping you to rise and shine for your lives. And then, of course, we got Cullen in the building with Cullen's Corner Hot Topics. And, of course, we have so many other things that are coming your way. We are so super excited that you all are a part of this. Dig into Facebook, Brownstone Worldwide, brownstoneworldwide.com, Brownstone Living Magazine, and KCCR, The Brownstone. Folks, hang tight. I got you. We'll see you on another edition of Cullen's Corner Hot Topic.